Yes.
All right. Good morning. I want to give you a briefing on an officer-involved shooting that occurred overnight. We've got a team behind me that's been here through the early morning hours, and the investigation is still underway. With me today is Assistant City Manager Ray Ariano over Public Safety, Travis County District Attorney Margaret Moore, and the Austin Police Oversight, our monitor, Farrah Muscadin, along with members of the Executive and Command team and the teams from those departments as well. This incident began early this morning at 2:49 a.m. There was an altercation between two vehicles that began at the intersection of 7th and Natchez. This entire incident was captured on the department's Halo cameras, and what can be seen is a blue or dark colored SUV is headed eastbound on 7th Street, and a dark colored Monte Carlo is coming southbound on Natchez. The Monte Carlo crashes into the SUV, which we believe is a Maserati Levante. There's a crash at that intersection, minor crash. Those vehicles then proceed eastbound, and when they get to the intersection at 7th and I-35, the Levante is at the light, the Monte Carlo is behind. Two individuals get out of the SUV and they walk to the driver's side of the Monte Carlo. One can then be seen leaning into the window and throwing multiple punches towards someone inside the vehicle. What is then seen immediately following is muzzle blasts from a firearm being shot from inside that vehicle towards the individuals that were punching them. Those individuals then run back towards their vehicle. One appears to have been shot in the manner in which he's doubled over, but he then pulls out a pistol from his waistband, and as he runs towards the front of his vehicle, he is pulling his weapon out, and at this point, we have multiple Austin police officers running towards this incident. The suspect at this point fires at the officers. Our officers returned fire as the suspect was getting in the vehicle, and then both of those vehicles fled the scene. We have not located those vehicles at this time. As officers were pursuing after those vehicles in an attempt to catch them, we had officers flagged down at the intersection of 11th and I-35 by a car that had been struck by gunfire during this altercation. There was a male inside this vehicle that had been struck by gunfire with non-life-threatening injuries. Upon looking at the vehicle and hearing the witnesses' accounts of how this took place, and then watching the videos that we have, it appears as though this vehicle tried to pull out of the lane of traffic as the shooting was taking place, and as they drove by the suspect's vehicle, they received rounds instantly. To have taken place is as the shooting was underway, this vehicle tried to get out of the lane of traffic, and as it drove by the suspect vehicles, it was struck by that gunfire, and they did in fact tell us that the gunfire came from the dark colored vehicle. That person again was struck and was received non-life-threatening injuries. We have persons of interest based on what happened here tonight. The individuals that got out of, again, what we believe to be a Maserati Levante appear to both be black males wearing one light-colored jeans and a light hoodie, white-colored. The other one is wearing dark jeans and a white hoodie or sweatshirt. And there's a third person that gets out of this vehicle as well. He also appears to be a black male wearing dark pants and a dark top. And again, these are the individuals that got out of the vehicle we believe to be that Maserati Levante. The Maserati is dark in color, and it should have collision damage on its driver's side rear quarter panel from the crash that occurred at 7th and Natchez. The other vehicle that is a vehicle of interest at this time is a Chevy Monte Carlo SS. It is dark in color, and it has white racing stripes down the hood and the center of the vehicle. Again, it should have crash damage on its front right quarter panel based on the crash that took place. These are the vehicles that were involved in this altercation tonight. And again, we are looking for these right now so that we can identify the subjects and conduct further investigation into this incident. The officers that were involved in this incident, there were 4 officers that discharged their weapons. I want to point out here that as a result of the shooting that occurred last night, we had shifted our resources and we had approximately 50 officers working this intersection between 6th Street and 7th Street, both the east frontage and the west frontage, in the parking lots of the gas stations and the Wendy's restaurant, again in response to what happened last night. And what you can see on this video is as this gunfire rings out and this dangerous situation plays out, as everyone is running away, the brave men and women of the Austin Police Department ran towards that gunfire, in fact putting themselves directly in the line of fire in an attempt to put a stop to this threat. The officers involved, 2 of them have been with the department for 7 years, 1 has been with the department for 12 years, and the 4th has been with the department for 3 years. This comes on the heels of what has been a violent weekend in Austin, where we have seen multiple shootings. And this is unacceptable. We are not going to let our entertainment district be turned into a place where shootings become the common occurrence. And this weekend will not stand without a strong response from the police department. I will be meeting with the leaders of the department this week and others to put together a plan to ensure that we have additional officers in the entertainment district so that we can maintain the level of security so that people can come downtown, enjoy their time, and do so safely. So again, we recognize what has occurred this weekend, and we will be taking steps to address it with additional resources and plans to make sure that this does not become the common occurrence here. So with that, I'll go ahead and open it up for questions.
The colors of the cars you're looking for, the Maserati?
Sure. The Maserati, again, we believe based on what we have on video that it's a Maserati Levante, and that is dark in color. Cannot tell if it's blue or black, but it's a dark colored vehicle. And again, from looking at it, looking at specific parts of the vehicle and the design, it does appear that that's what it is. The Monte Carlo, we believe, is a dark colored Monte Carlo Super Sport, and it has light colored, whether it's white or gray or silver, racing stripes across the hood and over the roof and down the back of that vehicle.
Any idea if these people live in Austin or they're from out of town?
Until we can identify these vehicles and then the subjects that were involved, we will not know whether these are Austin residents or people that were in town this weekend.
Are you looking at this as being connected to any other shooting, or right now is this isolated?
There's nothing that connects what happened this morning with any of the other shooting incidents that occurred over this weekend.
Chief, we are live right now on our newscast. Would you give just a brief summary of what happened tonight? Just a quick, 2-3 bullet point of what happened tonight.
I'm sorry, you want me to go over what happened in the officer-involved shooting again?
Yeah, just a quick little 2-3 sentences of what happened.
Sure. So there was a earlier disturbance where 2 vehicles were involved. It resulted from a crash. Those vehicles stopped at the intersection of 7th and I-35. Occupants from the front vehicle got out, approached the rear vehicle. They leaned into the vehicle, and you can be seen punching someone inside that vehicle. You can see someone from inside that vehicle fire a firearm at those individuals. You can see the muzzle flashes. Those individuals run back towards their vehicle, at which time one of them pulls out a gun and observes several Austin police officers running towards him, at which point he fires at our officers, and our officers again approached him and fired their weapons in an attempt to put a stop to the violence.
And again, APD ran straight towards, as people were running away, APD ran straight towards the incident.
As we've seen so many times, the brave men and women of the Austin Police Department stepped up this morning in what was a very dangerous situation and absolutely saved lives. This was playing out in a very crowded intersection. There were many people that were walking in the parking lots of the convenience stores, and there were many cars that were in traffic as this played out. And as our officers ran towards this danger, they were actually running in front of vehicles that were trying to escape the situation. So not only were they running into an area with gunfire, but they were running through vehicles that were trying to escape that as well.
But 2 people who were involved in a shooting are still what are the next steps that you guys do in this kind of situation?
So there's many investigations going on right now. The officer-involved shooting is undergoing the course that those incidents go under. We've got a multi-pronged investigation going on at this point. The Internal Affairs Division, along with the Office of Police Oversight, is conducting an investigation into the officer-involved shooting to ensure that it was compliant with our policies from an administrative perspective. And the Travis County District Attorney's Office, in conjunction with our own Special Investigations Unit, will look at it to ensure that it's compliant with law as well. But we also have our violent crime investigators that are here investigating the shooting that's taking place, because we have suspects that we need to identify and apprehend for their actions here tonight. So there are many different investigations that are taking place.
Last question.
Anything, members of the public, how can they help? What should they do in a time like this?
Well, again, I think, as we say all the time, whether it's large festivals or just coming downtown, it's being aware of your surroundings. It's knowing where you would go if something were to happen that you had to immediately escape from, planning ahead, making good choices. So I think that's just the big thing, is the takeaway, is that something like this, obviously, it happened in a moment's notice, and people had to make quick decisions on where to go and what to do. Thank you.